Hey, what's up? It's Mike here, and I am outside of 245 South Plummer Suites 3, 2, and 1 on the final days of our renting office here. I was like, I'm not gonna cry about this thing at all. And I thought it would be like halfway through the fucking video. Just want a little office tour here, just to document my thoughts and journeys here. Fuck, I'm gonna cry through this whole damn thing. This sucks. Let's go inside. We started this space around 2005. I moved in because the office we were moving in, we were in off of 4th Avenue, was much too small. We had a programmer that was in the closet working, and that became a really good joke for a while. When we took over the space, what I'm about to show you was a garage, and we've transformed it into a home. This was the front where we come in. This is the lobby, and this was like one big space. My buddy Jeff and I built this wall down the middle one day so that way I could actually have my own office. This is my first office here, where I took a lot of coaching calls and client calls, and yeah, a lot of work got done here. And this was our first conference room, right? We had a round table, which is over there. So this space is a garage. It used to be a photography studio. Actually, Jill on our team says she had her senior portraits done in this space here, and it was black floors and just this big open space. There was no air conditioning. We had swamp cooling. In the summers, we would just like stop work early, and we'd be like laying down on the couch because it was so like hot in here, because the swamp cooler kind of stopped working when it got really humid outside. A guy that worked for me named Josh taught me a lot about construction. Really grateful for his time and effort and helping this space come together and envision it something more than what I could at the time. So we built ourselves a proper conference room here. A lot of deals have got done in this room here. A lot of amazing conversations, a lot of employee interviews, a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And you know, like when we built this space out, like these walls have been several different colors, but I've always really appreciated like the energy that this space has brought. And I guess before I go further, like this video is for me. Like I'm just kind of talking about the things that pop into my mind as I see things, and maybe one day I'll watch this video and just like relive this space a little bit. And you may be watching this thinking like, why is he telling me this really weird detail? Like for example, this little spot right here, which was up until about an hour ago, covered by a nice decorative metal panel, is where you switch on the evaporative cooler. And my desk used to be right underneath that, and I'd walk around my desk to turn it on and off the switch to the evaporative cooler. So do you need to know that? No, but like it's like a cool memory for me for some reason. So back here is where my first office was. So I built this little wall, and I had this little cubby. This is most recently Brian's space. Like you can see that this space is like the furthest from the entrance. So like I went from being the guy who was the greeter and getting interrupted when I was doing work to the person who's like all the way in the back. So learning how to install drop ceiling. Like I learned how to frame walls, how to do drywall, how to run electrical. I learned about air conditioning systems, you know, like we got rid of our swamp cooler and put like real AC and heat in here. Like it may sound silly for a business, but like that's what it was back in the day. Like, you know, getting and installing these cabinets, like, and so this was our space here for a long time, only this space, Suite 3, and we had the idea of like expanding, and the day that we knocked the hole in this wall to join these spaces was a big day because so much work had happened in this space here. So this space here used to be all carpet. We had wood flooring installed later, but this was known as the Anchor Lounge, and we had like couches in here. We set up like a Nintendo Wii, and like it was such like a huge vision for me to like have more office space. Like it felt like the business was growing, and then we needed a second conference room, which we built out here. And we just disassembled the table here right a few minutes ago. But like, you know, we had another conference room now, and like in this room, gosh, like in this room, we've had so many meetings, so many like fucking cool things. So cool things, like lots of hard conversations and some like huge celebrations. This is Lily's office, and I know she's really upset that she put all this work into this wall. Somebody's gonna have a hard time getting that off. I don't know how you do that. And this is AJ's office. And at one point this was used as a conference room as well for a short period of time. And the idea, this is my office here, The idea here in this space was also to treat this as a conference room, which is why we put the doors in here just like the other suite. But this space really never got used as a conference room. But what's interesting is, like, right after we built this space was when I found out that most of my production staff was starting their own company. They didn't like working for me. They decided that they could do it better. The problem was that they were doing it while they were still here, and they were not bringing any part of their like passion or A game for my business when they were starting their own. It was ugly and messy, and so I went from having all this space with people to contracting and like not needing it anymore, right? And so what happened is I ended up renting this space to a company called Student Experts. Eventually, they moved out, and we took the space. And it was at that time I decided, like, I moved back into that corner back little cubby area, and I felt like I was like I moved out of having a private office into that. I was like, this is where I need to be. And so it was really symbolic, really a big step for me when I took this office, when I took this space and really claimed it. And I had never moved out until now. It was about building my confidence in my business again. Like, it was about like believing that like I wasn't just some screw up that was, made a huge mistake in starting a company and then like managing it poorly and not being able to keep employees around and all the things that like the negative self-talk, and there's a lot of bad stuff going on in my mind, and moving back into that space was the beginning of that healing to turn it back around. That's when we decided to take this last space over, Suite 1, and the vision for this here was to create a like training and education space. So we wanted to keep the space really open. We chose the black tile because like it felt like it kind of lifts the ceiling, it kind of creates more dimension. We had lots of presentations in here. We'd set up chairs, rows of chairs, and we would have our presenter right here presenting whatever it was, and it was like a really cool space to be able to do that. It's where we did our team lunches, and we got these little dining tables here that I ordered on a whim. I was on vacation. I was like, yeah, it'd be really cool to have that. And I just went to a restaurant supply site and I ordered them. And like this has been a room where we've had so many company conversations. We've talked about the status of what's going on, about life, catching up, getting to know each other, forming bonds. And I think that's one of the things I'm going to miss about this office is the opportunity for us to kind of get together and be together. So, gosh, I'm going to get emotional again. All right. But like, that's not ending. It's not over. It's just not happening here. So, but gosh, I was like, I keep on saying the word proud, but yeah, I'm so proud of this space. Like, this is so cool. Like, this was like another like point in time where like we're moving, we're expanding, we're taking on the ability to treat ourselves as a real company. I think people driving by the outside of this building have no idea what's happening here. Like, when I moved into this space, I was like, this is kind of a funky area, and like, is this really what we want to do? But we've really made it something. There's a burden that comes along with having an office in this kind of space that we don't really necessarily realize, and it's something that I had taken off my plate and put onto my team. And I'm just excited that there's so many little things that we don't have to worry about. The overhead of the equipment, the maintenance, and we're trading that for an opportunity to build a strong team, work virtually, have the opportunity to get together in an office space when and how we want to. And I'm excited about that. I know that in the coming days after we've turned in the keys for this space, that there's going to be a weight lifted off of me mentally around this, right? Like, even through this COVID experience, the pandemic, wondering what was going to happen, constantly thinking about the space, and also thinking, well, gosh, we're spending a lot of money to have a space empty when we're building a strong business. Despite that, March 16th, it was a Monday, when we had I had my final work day here as we were moving into the unknown. And I remember just grabbing a couple things from my office, a couple things I was like, I just don't know if I'm gonna get them again. Like I just had such uncertainty, like what was gonna happen in the world. Like I think like this is the last time. Like this is the end of something. Like I didn't know it for sure, but like I was just thinking, this is the end of this office. Like maybe it was right here, about here when I did it, and I sat here looking at my office of the things that I felt like I needed. There wasn't many things, a couple mementos, but I was like, this is it. This has changed. This is different. Like something at the core of me felt that that was what was happening, and I grabbed my stuff and I left. And like I never would have thought that that would have been the end of this office. Like I never would have thought that this was going to be the end of our time here. I'm so grateful though for what's happened over the last months. We've built a stronger business. We've proved to ourselves that we can balance family and business even more so than we were before. We've proven that Agency Coach is a strong and viable business that people absolutely need. And I've been able to put myself in a position where I'm choosing what I really want going forward. You know, Anchor Wave is my baby. It is my start of my career and my business life. And I am grateful for everything there. And I'm so excited to be moving past it and allowing my team to really take it to places where I've not been able to take it. It's just the beginning. It really just is the beginning of this business, and it's going to go so much further. But I'm making a transition into something that I also love and am passionate about, which is teaching and coaching, and funnels and marketing and copywriting and video production and all these things that I'm going to get to be and have been working on. It's because of this office. It's because of the people that work for me now, and it's the people that have worked for us in the past. You know, there's been a lot of people that have come through these doors, and each one of them brought something. It's easy to say, oh gosh, you know, thanks for all the great things that you've done for us, but it's also like the hard lessons too. It's the people that I hired and it didn't work out. It's the people that were starting their own business when they were working for me. It's the people that, you know, I didn't coach. I wasn't a leader. I wasn't, you know, giving them what they needed, and all that taught me a lot of things. A lot of things. I'm so grateful for this space. Encompasses like just so much of my life. It really does. Like I've been here for like 15 years, 16 years, and it's like this is my life right here, but it's not anymore. And I'm gonna miss it, but I'm excited for the future. So, this is the space. It's probably one of the last times I'll be here. I don't think I'll be back. And we're going places.